Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on tonight's episode, we are actually over in Soul B, guys. This is a zone that I have very fond memories of and very bad memories at the same time. It's one of those mixed ones where things can go really, really well. They can also go really, really badly depending on where your group is and if you have a group and things of that sort. Now, I'm actually over here with Molly, or however you pronounce that. It's Mauly. He's in my guild, and I was actually over in Mistmore. I've been trying to get a group all day long. I started early in the morning. I thought, hey, maybe the reason I can't get a group is because it's early in the morning. It's a weekday, and not a lot of people are on. I went ahead and played my shaman for a little bit and logged back on a little bit later on in the day after I did some errands, and still no people looking for a group in Mistmore. No people looking for a group in Unrest at my level. No people really at all in Lower Guck. And there was only like 5 people inside Soul B, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get a group in there because they're all way, way higher level than I am, and I'm not level 39 yet, which means I don't have my complete heal. So I went ahead and asked the guild. I was like, does anybody have anything for me to do? Because I finally have the week off. I want to get some levels, and nothing is going on. It's just one of those days. So, he was like, yeah, we could go duo in Soul B. And I was like, hey, I'm up for it, right? I mean, any experience is better than no experience. However, I'm getting close to 1 experience per kill, which is really, really good in a heck level. I'm level 35 right now. So it takes a little while for you to get the kill. He's a monk, so he's actually doing it a lot faster than you normally would be able to do. But the combination of me healing and him doing all the damage and tanking has really worked out quite well. I've already gotten close to 10% in my level just, in the course of like 15 minutes or something like that. It's not too bad at all. So I imagine I'm going to be getting my level here fairly soon. Plus, he doesn't want any of the loot because he's playing a monk, and monks just really never get to loot that often because of their weight allowance. They can't have a whole bunch of copper, they can't have a whole bunch of silver, they can't even have a whole bunch of gold. Sometimes they don't even want platinum. That is how close to their weight allowance they are allowed. I think it's something like 13 pounds or 15 pounds is where they're at. And depending on what equipment they have, what backpacks they have on them, monks to me really come down to being a twink class, because if you got those tinkerer bags at 100% weight reduction and they weigh like no pounds or anything like that, then you could have a whole bunch of different items on you. You can actually pick stuff up, but they cost 6K a piece if you don't have good charisma. If you happen to know an enchanter who's a good friend of yours, that you can have him go over there and buy it, and he can use his whatever that spell is, alliance, and then all his charisma stuff that they naturally have on themselves. And of course, if they can get a charisma buff and things of that sort, then it raises up even higher. You can get that all the way down to about 5K per backpack. That's still a lot of money, and considering you want at least probably 5 or 6 of those, you can imagine, you can add that up in your head of just how much money you're going to be spending depending on how many bags you're going to want. And, every one of your characters really wants those bags because they're 100% weight reduction. Like, who doesn't want those? So he's saying stupid kobolds. I'm guessing he's out there feigning death at the moment and waiting for, one of them to, walk off or pay back to the position that they were at. But, yeah, we did pretty well. He pulled, like I said, I think about 10 mobs, and then we had to stop and take a break there because he had gotten 2 mobs at the same time, didn't break them, and I ended up being able to actually root one. A lot of these mobs are red to me at this level, but there was thankfully one of them which was blue, the other one was yellow. He was fighting that one, so I rooted the blue mob. He backed it off. Unfortunately, root does use a bit of power, and then of course that it broke every so often, so I was using a little bit more there. And when it wasn't breaking, he was taking the damage from both, so I was using superior heal because I don't have complete heal just yet. And, it's just one of those things that when you have 2 mobs, you're going to go through your power a little bit faster. And I was already at 30% when we started that fight. So at the end of that fight, I think it was down to about 10% health and almost no power whatsoever. So we had to stop for a minute, rest up, and then go back out there and try it again. So that's what he's doing. He's kind of clearing the way. There's not too many people here. Let me do a who all so you guys can see. There's 12 people here right now. Clue has really taken over the zone, it looks like. I don't know where they're at or what they're doing. and they're here in force is basically what they're probably in one of the rooms camping it, getting experience for getting guilds on occasion will kind of go to a zone that a lot of people don't go to, like on an off day or something like that. Either take the alts or take the characters in their guild who are coming through the ranks and trying to level up and be like, okay, we'll get you a few levels because it helps them out in the end. Like the guys who are going to stay in the guild, those are the ones that you really want to level up, because you got people who will join the guild, leave the guild, join the they're doing it for different reasons, for loot, for whatever the case may be. But the ones who are actually going to be there for long periods of time, those are the ones you really want to help out, because they're going to be there for the raids. And the higher the level they are, the better off things are going to be for you. You're going to have more classes to pick from, more DPS to dish out, just everything else you can possibly imagine. And, it's just nice to be able to help out fellow guildies, because you're going to see those people quite a bit. So it's kind of a nice thing to do that. So that's what they're do on occasion, is go over there and, load up on their alts or whatever the case may be. They may go over there with their mains and try to get some of them experienced. I think that's probably what they're doing right now, because, that's a pretty big guild. They're not one of the biggest guilds on the server, but they're still pretty big. And if they're over here hunting, I'm guessing it's just for some other weird reason. It's not that they're actually going off, after a dragon or something like that, because they would have more people here. They'd be higher level as that too. So, they're just kind of doing the same thing we are, just getting a little bit of experience. A great zone for that, because it is a dungeon. And a dungeon, as I have mentioned many times before, guys, gives you a bonus in experience. Now, if you want to see exactly what that bonus is, you're going to have to look it up online. One time or another, I knew what the bonuses were. I don't know what the bonuses here is at the moment. It's pretty big. I think it's close to 200% extra experience. So it's kind of nice to be able to get that when you can. There's also a bonus inside Lower Guck, so that's a good place to go to. Mistmore, Unrest, those are all really good places to go to. I'm going to back that away because I can't sit back down as soon as it's there. And he's going to get a little bit more damage on it before I sit back down. Now I'm going to go ahead and sit back down. Why did I, stand up for a little bit longer? Well, when they hit you, what I've noticed, and I don't know if this is right or not, but from what I've noticed in my experience as a cleric, when the creature hits you, he seems to have you, I mean, obviously he has you a little bit higher up on the aggro list than you would want to be, but sometimes it's just that you are in the proximity. That you sit aggro, you're just too close to him, and he just does not like the fact that you're sitting down during a fight. It's like an insult to him. The same thing for healing him, and I just healed this guy right there at the beginning of the fight, so I don't know if I got a little bit of aggro from that. Maybe he pulled it with one of his throwing stars, then I healed him, and then, he still had a little bit more aggro than I did, and then I sat down, and I gained just that much more. It's kind of hard to tell in those situations where you're getting that aggro from right off the bat like that, but if you just stay up for a half a second more, sometimes that's all he needs to be able to get a little bit more aggro, and you're free to sit back down. If you sit back down right off the bat, a lot of the time the mob will jump off of him and come over there and smack you once, and not even wait there for you to stand up. You're automatically going to get stand up when you get hit, but he won't even wait. He will immediately run back to the monk and start beating on that guy again. So, ooh, he dinked. Nice. Nice, guys. He's getting some good experience. There we go. But yeah, it's one of those things where just give yourself half a second. Just rather than take a whole nother bubble or a bubble and a half, maybe 2 bubbles off of your life if you're like a caster, a wizard, or something along those lines, just give yourself that half a second to stand up and remain standing so that you can actually go ahead and finish that thing off. Now, I'm going to move up just slightly so I can heal this guy, and when I do, I guarantee you his pet is going to jump off of him and come over here and jump onto me. Actually, his pet didn't. That's actually a miracle. I've never seen that happen before. But the reason I did jump up there is so that if the pet did, or I should say when the pet did, I would be able to root it in place and then back up, and I would still have enough space to kind of work with. If you don't do that in a small confined area like this, corridors where there's not a lot of room to maneuver, and you root one thing here and there, it's pretty good experience for me too. Yeah, so it's good experience in here. It's probably not quite 1 point of experience per kill for him. I mean, look at that, guys. I came in here and I had 1 bubble of experience. Now I'm already at another 2 bubbles. So that is just crazy, crazy experience in a heck level. And I cannot wait to get out of this one, because once I get out of this heck level, I'm going to be able to level so much faster. And level 39 is going to be a big, big change for me. Complete heal, guys. I know I mentioned it a whole bunch of times, but I really can't stress enough just how much that is going to change the game. It is from night to day when a cleric finally gets complete heal. He's just so much more uber than he ever was before. He's able to do things that you just never could even, contemplate doing before. It's absolutely amazing, and it's really fun. It's just absolutely a joy to play once you get complete heal, and groups get so easy. Like right there, I use superior healing, which I believe takes a little bit more power than complete heal, and it didn't get him up all the way to full. In fact, I'm having to use it again here in just a couple of seconds, where I could have used the complete heal on him. Now, is that really going to work in most situations? Are you really going to be complete healing a monk? No, you're probably not going to be complete healing a monk very often, but in this situation, it would work, and I'd be happy to use it. So let me go ahead and root this guy, and then I can go over here and sit back down. Now, if he moved, he wouldn't be getting attacked from the... Actually, he's still not getting attacked from the back. I thought I saw the wolf kind of moving, but yeah, as a tank, you kind of have to be aware of what mobs are around you. Again, it's very difficult to do in a situation like this because you're stuck in this confined corridor with not a lot of room to move around, and a lot of pullers in this situation will go into first person because you're going around corners. You're kind of actually sneaking around corners to see what's lying in wait for you around that way, and you're hugging the back of the wall with your back against it so you can kind of push your way back there. And as a monk, you're able to feign death if you see something you don't like and something actually grabs aggro on you, but you're in first person a lot, and then you don't get to see what's behind you. You don't really pull out that often, so I'm pretty sure he has no idea that the shaman pet is back here. He's not too concerned with it because he knows that I can root it, so it's not really that big of a thing for him anyways. And he's down to 47, so let me go ahead and toss this on him. Now, the reason, other than the fact that my superior heal isn't one of the greatest spells in the first place, that it's not healing him all the way up, is he's a lot higher level than I am. He's in like 45s or 46s, whatever he just said right there, 47 actually now. So he's a lot higher than I am, and therefore he has a lot more hit points. Although he's doing a lot more damage and able to take more damage, because of all that. But yeah, it's going to eat through my power a little bit. If I had clarity down here, not even a thing. I don't think I would really be worried about power. I wouldn't be running out of it, that's for sure. And let's go ahead and move over here because, that guy may not be doing a lot of damage, but he's doing a fair bit of it, and it seems like he wants to eat me. He wants to kick me. There we go. Let's root him and back it up over here because I don't want to sit up the whole fight. I could wait for him to get the aggro off of this thing and, just fight it that way. But in the amount of time it takes him to do that, even if it's only a few seconds, that's a few seconds that I could, actually be meting up. And he's saying that the creature slowed him down, so that's why he wasn't able to attack as fast as he normally does. Fortunately, I don't have anything that can cure that as far as I know. I mean, I think I can nullify magic at a later level. I could dispel them maybe, but I don't think that takes it off. It's been a very, very long time. Usually with slows, you just wait for it to end. I don't really... Poisons, on the other hand, and diseases, on the other hand, you will have to cure. Those are definitely things that you're going to need to be on the ball of, especially in like raid zones and certain group zones too. There are certain poisons in this game that are absolutely just will destroy anybody who has them on them. They are vicious in how much damage they do, to the detriment, or to the degree, actually, I should say, that you won't even heal him. Like, he could be going really, really low on life. Say he's 30%, and you're like, would be the place that you use a complete heal. You will actually not use the complete heal, and you will cure the poison first, and then complete heal him, because if you don't, he's going to go down so fast that chances are you won't even get that complete heal off in time. You might not even get a greater healing off in time. And even if you got a greater healing off, that damage is doing so much, or the disease or poison is doing so much, that it's going to nullify your greater healing, and you're just basically stemming the tide and not even taking into account that he's still getting hit by the enemy. So yeah, you're not even going to be making ground. You're going to be losing ground and power, and he's going to die anyway. So like your first step would be curing that poison or that disease. Doesn't happen too often. You won't run into that situation, every day. But when you do run into it, it's memorable. Like you're gonna recognize that. You're gonna be on the ball next time that happens. Let's see. Can I go up here? Blue. Can I get him on? No, I can't see him. He got him. Okay. Good. You looted it. Yeah, I was going to go ahead and try to root it, but some of these things are super red to me. Other ones are yellow. I think I've seen a few evens. Haven't seen a whole lot of blues. Only once in a while do I get a blue one in here. So at 35, this is not a bad place for you to come unless you're a tank. And somebody's saying camp check. So the champion and the Afridi. I cannot wait to go into the Afridi room, guys. Some people dislike that room because I think it's 35 or 45 minutes in between spawns. And most people, if you're going in there around the level that it should be camped at, where you're still going to get experience killing those creatures, will get inside the room and they will stay inside the room. They won't be pulling from outside. They won't be, trying to get experience that way because it is kind of a hard room to break into, and the area outside is kind of dangerous as well. And most of the time, people just want the boots. The golden Afridi boots. I forgot. I think it's like 9 AC. I think it's 9, 9, and 9. So it's like 9 AC, 9 intelligence, and 9 wisdom. So you can imagine pretty much everybody in the game wants them but warriors. Because if you're a caster, which can use them, they want the intelligence. If you're a, cleric or paladin, you're going to want the wisdom. And if you're a tank, you're going to want the AC and whatever the other stats are for Shadow Knights or Paladins. So pretty much everybody wants golden Afridi boots, or at least they did back in the day. Now that Velius is out, I'm pretty sure there's probably something better than that out there somewhere along the ways. But for a very, very long time, golden Afridi boots were pretty much the best pair of boots you can get in the game. And they were always camped every single day of every hour. Well, it's kind of wrong for me to put it that way because everything in this game was camped every single day of every hour when I was playing it back in the day. So that was just another camp, but it was definitely something that people sat on waiting list for days to get into, not just hours, not just 6 or 7 hours sitting there in another group waiting to get onto another list and then the next day coming in and starting the whole thing over again. No. People would wait for days to get to that golden Afridi boots because they were worth like 7 or 8K a piece at the time. And 7 or 8K nowadays doesn't mean as much as it did back then, but that was a fortune. Like with 7 or 8K, you could outfit your entire character with pretty much the best gear in the game and still have a little bit left over. So think maybe, I don't know, like 200 or 200 to 300,000 K nowadays in the kind of cash that's roaming around on the server a little bit here and there. It was a lot of money, and everybody wanted one. Everybody wanted one for every single one of their characters, and you had a lot of people coming to the game for the very first time. Of course, they wanted one. You had a lot of people who had already played for a while, and they were starting new characters, and of course, they wanted one. So there was just never enough to go around. And nowadays, there's plenty of them to go around. You can see them for sale, I think, for like 1 or 2K. They're really not that much, and it's pretty easy to save up for it. But, it's just one of those things where it's a fun room. Like, because you're sitting there for so long, the 30 to 45 minutes, a lot of the time, people would go AFK, get something to drink, get something to eat, but then they'd come back. 30, 40 minutes is a long time to do anything. I think this month wants to join us. Yeah, it's fine by me if he wants to. Yeah, so 2 monks is going to be really, really nice. Let me see if I can heal this guy through the wall. There we go. Fizzles. And, I have mentioned in the past that, fizzling is a thing. It is something that happens quite a bit at certain levels, and I was actually confirmed that because I wasn't sure if I was remembering that right or if that was just something that was just happening to me lately. But yeah, I do remember that certain levels did seem to fizzle a lot more than they ever did at later levels, and I think right now I'm in that zone of fizzles all the time. So it really, really sucks if you're a caster like me who is using spells that take a lot of power. I mean, if you're a wizard and you're using, a smaller direct damage spell because you're worried about aggro, you're not going to be using a lot of power because that is a lower level spell. But if you're, say, a cleric who has to use complete heal, it's one of your most costly spells other than superior heal, then when you cast it and you fail, you lose a percentage of whatever that power would have cost. And that could be quite a bit. That could be the entire cost of, say, maybe a greater heal just from fizzling. And you sometimes don't fizzle once. You sometimes don't fizzle twice in a row. Sometimes you fizzle 5 or 6 or even 7 times in a row, and you'll go from being 30% power, which might be 2 complete heals, to going to 0 power and not even getting 1 heal off. So in situations like that, things can go bad very quickly for you. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. The only thing I would say that I found that kind of works for me when that happens is stop. Stop trying to cast. If you get like 2 or 3 fizzles in a row, literally just stop casting. Sit down, wait a second, stand back up, wait a second, and then try casting. One of the things is if you stand up too quickly, sometimes you can cast, but you can get interrupted from your standing. Other times, you want to just kind of reset yourself. Sometimes you're in that weird, buffer zone where they're like, okay, you're the one we're going to be messing with right now, and it's not going to be a good time for you. So, when you kind of sit down or just wait a second, sometimes you don't even need to sit down. You just wait. It just kind of resets that for you and gives you another chance. Of course, it could just be my imagination. If you try that and you stand back up and you fizzle, I can't guarantee it for you. I can't, because this game is a lot about just dumb luck, a lot of dumb luck, but a lot of skill as well. So, just try it out for yourself, see how it works. If it doesn't work at all, then but if it works a little bit for you sometimes, then there might be something to it. I'm just kind of give you guys things that I've noticed in the past, and whether they work the same way in this game nowadays that they used to work with, who knows? Because there's a lot of different coding in this game mixed in with a lot of the newer coding and then even some of their own custom coding. So yeah, there's no way to tell how that's going to work out. It could be a completely new bag of worms on that one that we have to figure out together. Do you have to drop for your epic from here? Yes. Is it easy to get? Yeah, pretty easy. Oh, so who's she? Let me look. Quest. Maybe we can get her in there. 43 Enchanter here. That would be nice. That would definitely be really, really nice to get clarity here from a 43 Enchanter. Maybe might be able to get her group. I mean, it looks like she has 3 people with her. There we go. Toss that on her. Zevis. Zevis is from Savage. Let's see. What is Zevis? I recognize his name. I think we might have grouped with that guy at some point. He's a 45 Cleric. Okay, well, they won't need me then. And who is this over here? Anukus. Where are you at, Anukus? I don't see you on there. You are a 45 Cleric as well. So 2 45 Clerics and an Enchanter. That is a great combo, I guess, for a start for a group. I guess it's a little bit more than on the healing side than you need. Yeah, and 2 Clerics. There we go. Might be able to get an extra Cleric in here. I mean, with 2 Monks, it would maybe be okay because we already have the DPS, and we definitely have the Enchanter would be great. The Enchanter would definitely be a nice combo. It would really kind of help us out if we had a real tank. Not that, monks can't tank. They obviously are right here, but they're not, really meant for that role. Like, they could do better as the DPS class and the puller class and then kind of leave, the tanking to somebody else. We have groups like that time to time. Yeah. I don't know about that. I've never seen 2 Clerics and an Enchanter as a group. Maybe as like a group makeup as extra players in a group, but never as just by themselves. That is just, I guess it could work though. I mean, the Clerics could heal the Enchanter pet, and the Enchanter pet, if he, charms or if she charms, a really good mob, and then of course buffs them up and things of that sort, and keeps them that way, then I guess it could work out for you. But man, things could get out of hand really, really fast for a group like that with nobody that can really tank. I mean, the Enchanter, if he loses or she loses control of that pet and it's been buffed up like you would not believe, he can eat through the Enchanter in just a few hits. The same thing for a Cleric. I mean, the Cleric is wearing plate armor, and everybody thinks that, oh, okay, the Cleric, he can tank a little bit. No, no, he cannot tank a little bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit better than maybe a Shaman or a Druid, but compared to like an actual tank class, we get hit, especially at higher levels. Yeah, sure. I mean, that works. I mean, we can. But I mean, it's kind of like we get hit at higher levels and we get quad hitted, just like the creatures are doing 4 or 5 attacks at once, and we'll get hit for like 200 apiece. That's like 40% of our life in one hit, and that's with plate on. I mean, it doesn't really do us a whole lot of good. It definitely saves our life at times, but at other times it's just yeah, it's just there. It doesn't quite help out, but I'm not gonna badmouth it. I'd rather have the plate than not have the plate. It's not like it's adding on extra weight to me or anything like that, but it doesn't add that benefit that you might assume that it does. And yeah, some people they pick a cleric and they're like, okay, he should be able to get a few hits in there and maybe even be a warrior cleric. No, if you want a warrior cleric, play a paladin. Man, this place is opportunity to get lost. Actually, it's not that complicated, to be honest, guys. I mean, of course, if you're not familiar with it, it can be kind of complicated. But when you come into this area right here, and I can actually move it up a little bit. I just don't want to sit up here for too long because this is where they're pulling. This is like the crossroads. If you go to the right, there is a window room over there, and it has, usually there was a group sitting in there. And it's literally right over to the right. In fact, I probably can show you right there real quick. You can see there's the window, and there's a small room in there, and there's some lava on the floor. If you go this way, which is, when you first zone in, right to your left, that will lead you kind of in the direction of a good bit of the zone, actually. There's a lot down there. I can't remember what the name of the room is, but there is a solo spot that you can sit there, and you can, yep, that's one of the reasons I didn't want to sit over here, aggro from sitting. But yeah, there's a solo spot. You can kind of kill one of the mobs in a hut. That used to be a thing that people would do when the zone was so camped. They were waiting for a spot to open up. They would kill that one. Now I think it's just an area that people pull from the room right above it, which is actually where a name spawns. And that one has 3 sides to it, and then the fourth side of the wall is actually gone. And what you'll see is a giant pit of lava down there. And I forgot is it the king room or something like that? It's been forever since I've been in this zone, so I'll have to relearn the names of the rooms here. But it's a pretty good spot. I like it quite a bit. You get a decent amount of experience in that room, and there's usually some pretty decent loot on occasion. You're not gonna get it all the time, but you're gonna get some good loot occasionally. I don't remember anything spawned in the room to the right, to be honest. I think that was just experience only. I think that's one of the reasons you camped there, is everything else was camped. You couldn't quite get into those, so you kind of spent a little bit of time there. Mez Evil. What is Mez Evil? He is a 40 monk. That would have been okay. 3 monks. I mean, come on. Can you get better DPS than that? I don't think so. I mean, maybe a rogue thrown in there and then, or a necro to boot, but 3 monks I'd be happy with. I could live with 3 monks. However, I don't really want to live with this guy beating on me, so let me bring him back over here. I will go ahead and root him. There we go. He's rooted to the ground, and she is there. She's actually not AFK. That was not far enough away, apparently. Okay, so while you guys are doing that, let me go ahead and loot these things. Again, 2 monks. Nobody wants to loot anything, and I feel like a pig coming over here and taking everything off of these guys. But if they're just gonna leave it there to rot, then I'm definitely gonna pick it up because I could definitely use the money. I spent, oh man, I don't remember how much it was. Was it like 500-600 platinum to buy my next level spells? And if I'm doing this the way I want to, which is to get up to level 49, then I'm not gonna go through just one set of spells. I'm gonna be going up through 2. I'll be going through my level 39 spells, which I have already bought, but then I'll be going through level 44, and I believe the next one after that is 49. So I'll need to buy at least one more set of spells, And if the last one was like 500 to 600 platinum, I can only imagine what the next set is going to cost me. So yeah, definitely got to save up a little bit of platinum for that. This guy is red to me, which is not a surprise. Everybody's red to me. 42 monk. Yeah, go with that. Grab the 42 monk. Yeah, we're going to be a group full of monks and maybe 2 clerics. That would be cool. Definitely get a little bit more experience that way. I don't know what we're going to be camping at some point, if anything. Oh, well, he used his mend right as I was casting my superior heal, so that was just kind of another waste on my power. But you never know when the monk is using his stuff. He could, call it out like we've mentioned before in some of the other episodes that he's going to use it, and sometimes they don't. He was actually doing pretty good with that. He was letting me know, that he had mend up, and I was expecting him to use it, and then when mend was down, he would let me know that as well. So there is. I don't know. I guess now that we have several monks in here, he's not too worried about it. I mean, everybody has their own mend, and we're all doing pretty well here. I mean, he's the highest level monk we got, so that's why he's still tanking it, and he's still doing the most damage. Although I see him using a two-hander. This monk party is off the chain. Yeah, this is a weird group to have so many monks, and they're not all lizards. Like that guy's a human. I think the other one was a lizard though. So it started out as such. And I wonder why that cleric doesn't want to join us. Maybe he's or she's kind of waiting for something else. Man, I just got lost just then. He's gonna get. I think we're at the entrance. This is the best place to be if you don't know the zone very well. And do we want the other cleric, or is that OTT? No, the other cleric is fine. Oh, I'm stunned. I can't move. Come on, let me move. Can I move, please? There we go. Oh, geez. That sucked. And maybe I shouldn't have zoned it, but I was down to 25%, and I don't know what was just going on right there, but somehow I got hit with all of those creatures. I was just typing back to them, and that's why I wasn't really looking at the screen, so I have no idea what happened. Hopefully, they don't hold it against me that I zoned, but, I just saw, 4 bats in front of me when I looked up, and the fact that I got stunned right there at the entrance, yeah, like I said, it's just, let's see, that other cleric zoned as well. Can I not use greater healing? There we go. 42 monk. Medieval. Should I zone back in? I guess we'll zone back in and see if they're still alive. If anything, they're monks, so they can feign, and they should be fine there as well. Bats hurt, it turns out. Yes, bats do hurt quite a bit. There's a mean bug train in there. Bugs train. Are they talking about there's a bug that causes a train, or somebody's causing a train? I don't know. We'll find out when we get back in, but hoping all the mobs are gone. Yeah, it looks like they just feigned. Alright, let me go ahead and heal him up, if it will let me. Oh, I gotta get closer, so he's a little further out. Alright, let me tell them other cleric would be fine with me. Pull this kobold. Yes, zone is clear. To the right as you come out. Okay. And this medieval. What is medieval? 40 monk. 40 monk. I think that would be fine too. Get another monk in here, man. That'd be freaking amazing, right? I mean, we got to do it. She wanted to go to Velius. Big waste of time. I don't know. I like Velius. Velius is not really that bad of an area. 40 monk. 40 monk. Here as well. There we go. Yeah, get the extra monk in. That's going to be... Yeah, he went ahead and zoned it just to be safe. Are bats over 40? Will they remember me? I don't remember on that one. I think the bats were pretty nasty. I mean, other than the stun, which is bad enough, I believe they had a few other things up their sleeves, so to speak, that they did that people didn't really like. Although, we did kill him. I remember killing him just fine. It's just, you had to have the right group to do some of the mobs in this zone. There we go. See if we can get this guy in here. And I think what we're going to go ahead and do, guys, is go ahead and call the episode here. I do want to Thank you all for coming out and joining us. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be here for a while. Let me look at my level. I'll probably get another 20% into my level before we start the next episode. So we're going to have 4 monks in here. Click sneak and con. Okay, yeah, bats over 40. Yeah, so we're going to be here for a little while. And I'm going to be doing these episodes quite a bit here today because I want to get up, like I said, to 46. So I hope you guys will enjoy these videos, even though it's probably just going to be me talking for the majority of them. We will, of course, get back to the group action that we have going on. But for now, it's just going to be me kind of getting my guy up a little bit higher. Again, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time.